Hell yeah, brother. You're on the Cleetus McFarland YouTube channel.
Alrighty, what is happening, everybody? I'm finally back in the shop after running that amazing 7-second pass in Leroy the Savage. Right after the 7-second pass, we went back to the shop. We left Leroy in the trailer and just went home. I edited the entire next day, and then I had to go on a trip to New Jersey to visit Kayla's parents. So I'm just now back. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been wondering what happened to Leroy while we thrashed him to go into the 7s. There's actually quite a bit more damage than we had previously seen. A lot of things are torn up, and we only have a week and a half to get this thing to LS Fest. We have to leave next Wednesday. We have really no time at all, and I'm gonna go over some of the carnage right now, and then we're gonna head to Pro Fab because we're upgrading the cage on this thing. We're going way too fast for the current setup. So like I said, guys, I was gone right after the 7, and James is here. So James goes in the trailer to get Leroy out, and there's a huge puddle of differential fluid on the ground. Turns out, and I'll show you these pictures, our C5 case that's on our base C5 diff, and it is built by RPM transmissions, but the casing itself broke in 3 freaking places. 3 places, and somehow managed to stay together through the rest of that 7-8 pass. But it was so broken that literally all the fluid drained out of it. So if you'll see, the America transmission is already completely out of this. James pulled it out right away, and it's on its way to RPM transmissions right now to get a new case and then be gone through before LS Fest, so we have a fresh transmission. Everything's good to go there. After the 7-8 pass, there was a lot of oil everywhere. You can see there's just oil all over the place. When we were running so much boost on this 4-bolt motor with so many passes on it, we had a little bit of blow by, kind of blew oil all over, and then there's also still no water in this engine because we have 2, yes, that is right, both head gaskets are blown on this thing. So Leroy's Old Faithful 4-bolt motor has 2 blown head gaskets. We're just gonna pull this motor out. Texas Speed is actually sending us a new engine. I can't give you guys details on it yet because I don't even know what the thing will be in the end, but that's on its way here apparently, and we're gonna pull this motor out, put in the new engine, send this one to Texas Speed so we can have it on display at LS Fest, and we'll put the new engine in and hopefully be able to have it ready to rip for LS Fest and go out there and just dominate the stick shift class. I guess aside from the head gaskets, there's not that many other things that are damaged. Oh, the parachute is completely shot. We've had a lot of issues with that parachute. The way it shoots off behind the car is not correct. Because there's such dirty air behind this car, it doesn't deploy. You know, really the parachute shouldn't hit the ground. It should just shoot in the air and then you know, freaking open up and stop the car. Ours hits the ground, drags for a minute, then goes up. So we're actually gonna ditch that parachute because it's all ground up from the ground, and we're gonna put on a new one that has a spring launcher that'll launch the damn thing off the back of the car. So we got the parachute laying on the ground there. I think Motion Raceworks, the guys that we get our parachutes from, is going to actually raffle that off for a charity deal, which will be really cool, and I'll give you guys more details on that later. The axles all look good, everything else looks good. On that last pass, we did run out of fuel pump. The injector duty cycle was over 100%, so our fuel system was maxed out. VMP superchargers, you know, the guys who supplied the blower for Neighbor, are actually sending us booster pumps, so we're gonna put booster pumps on both of the fuel pumps, try and get a little bit more out of them. It's kind of a temporary fix, but we just don't have time to upgrade the fuel system right now. Everything else is okay, I suppose. It's just also beat up right now. The car is trashed, and we just have a lot of work to do to get this thing ready for LS Fest. An engine swap is no joke in Leroy. I mean, he has so many components with this turbo setup and just junk everywhere, so we have a lot of work to do. We really do. As far as the interior goes, everything in here is pretty good. You can see the shifters out. There's a couple things we need to tidy up in here for sure before LS Fest, and then at Pro Fab, what we're going up there to do today is have this thing test fit for a funny car cage. So as the driver, I'll have my own hoop over me, a lot more bars surrounding me to keep me safe while we're, you know, running mid to low 7s hopefully. So much stuff to take in right now. I know I'm explaining a lot of stuff, but hopefully you guys get what we're doing here. I mean, we're on crunch time. We're ready for a long week, and probably a long weekend, and then probably a long week after that. I mean, we have to freaking get down to it right now and get this thing ready for LS Fest, along with the damn Dale truck. We gotta swap the engine in that still. So much to do. This is gonna be wild, but I'm so excited to show up to LS Fest on absolute kill with a motor that I can send to even more boost than we used on the 7-8 pass. So that's enough talking for now. I'm gonna load this thing in the trailer. I'm gonna head up to ProFab and I will turn the cameras back on when I arrive. All right guys, so we're up here at ProFab, practically the birthplace of Leroy, and I'm gonna show you a little bit about what we're doing here with this funny guard cage I've been talking about. As you guys know, we made this as close to an 850 cert cage as possible, and this cage has been amazing. You know, it's very safe, but we're just going so fast now that we need a little bit extra. So right around my head here is gonna have a couple new bars here in just a couple of days, and I'll show you on their race car exactly what they're doing. We're just going so freaking fast. I need a little bit of extra safety. I sure do love Leroy, but I don't want to die in him. So if you look at their race car, this is the Pro Fab race car, and you can see the door X is there just like in Leroy, but if you look right here, there's actually a hoop that goes over the driver. So when you guys see Leroy in a couple of days, he's gonna have these 2 bars that go over my head, and it'll all tie back into the bars that Leroy currently has, and then we will be Xing up Leroy's roof as well. So guys, a lot of new bars to come, but we'll be back here at ProFab in a couple of days to see some updates. I'm excited to see what they come up with. All right guys, so I'm just getting back to the shop, and we are about to jump in with James and pull the motor out of the Dale truck to send to one of you guys. So while I was gone, he pulled one of the axles out so we can get a spline count, because we have to order a locker for the rear end so we don't do one wheel peels. We need full tire spinning during burnouts. A couple of things laid out up here, like our new engine harness for our Holley Dominator. There's our injector harness. We have a whole bunch of other Holley stuff too that we're gonna have to throw in this thing in the next couple of days. We don't have much time to work on this because once we get Leroy back, we're gonna be full time on him getting the new engine swapped in. You already got the intake off, I see. Ready to roll?
Yeah, it's a couple more bolts and it'll come out.
Yeah, we're pretty far here. I see you using that dad strength to just rip through these projects like it's nothing.
Transmission, I just picked it up.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now, huh?
Yep.
Yep. So transmission's already out, drive shaft is sitting right over there, and all we got to do is pull this puppy out. I mean, it's pretty much ready to go. You've done definitely
motor mount
most of the work here.
Come out.
All right, cool. We'll be very careful, guys. We know this is your baby now. Someone's winning this baby.
Someone's new pride and joy.
Someone's new pride and joy. Seriously, yeah. Someone's gonna have a ripper on their hands. Otherwise, the Dale truck is looking good. So excited. The nice thing is this thing is really freaking easy to work on because it's got the motor mounts on either side and there's not much around it. So kind of unplug everything and just pull it right off. Big Bertha, your days in the Dale truck are over. I need to go up a little bit. Yeah. Let's clear that dowel. All right, coming back. Dang, there she is, guys. There's someone's new engine. This is exactly how they'll get it, but there'll be an intake on it. We'll leave the spark plugs in for them too.
We're leaving a set of spark plugs.
We're leaving you guys the spark plugs. So oil pan, all the way up to valve covers. Also have an intake. But guys, listen, you can win this engine. All you gotta do is place an order on CleetusMcFarland.com by the end of September, and you're automatically entered. She's a beaut. It's got a big old cam in it. It's always loved a lot of RPM with us. This is a brand new LS7 clutch, but we're not going to be ever using it just because our power level is going to be so high. So we're actually going to leave this clutch on there too. So someone's getting an engine and a new LS7 clutch. It's kind of sad getting pulled out of the Dale truck though. Oh, 241 heads.
Yeah, it's got 241 heads.
Yeah.
It's got ARP.
Yep. It's got some bolts. ARP bolts.
When they did the cam and the bolts, they also did a set of like the LSA gaskets, so yeah. The GM multi-layer gasket.
Dude, someone's getting hooked up. See, this is a good deal, guys.
For the cost of a t-shirt, you could end up yourself with a
ALS
little motor.
A little ALS one. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna move that engine over and set it on a stand for a little while. We got some work to do getting this thing wired out. A lot of the ignition stuff is done, but the interior definitely needs some work. We have a new driver's seat for it. We got to figure out what we're doing with gauges and whatnot. So there is some work to be done on the old Dale truck. So as far as underneath the truck goes, guys, everything's pretty much set down here. There's not much we can do. As you know, we have the old RPM transmissions, Intimidator trans in this thing, so that'll go right back in. It'll fit just like it did with the other engine. Drive shaft will run back there. We'll drop that LS7 in there hopefully tomorrow if it comes in. I can't wait to get it started up, man. Thing's gonna sound so insane. That Texas Speed 427, guys. But really in the engine bay, we don't have that much to do. I mean, it's a matter of putting the Dominator in, giving it power, and plugging things in.
Run the harness, plug it all in, a couple bolts, and it's really done.
Oh, in the driver's seat. And a lot of things we just forgot. Oh, the fuel system. So if you guys remember in the Crown Vic, we had the fuel cell and we put the Holley drop-in fuel hat deal. Basically it's a pump, hat, freaking fill hole, everything all in one. I actually just got a fuel cell for this thing off of Summit. We're just gonna drop it in, put that hat in there. It's not gonna have the freaking Veyron pumps like the Crown Vic has. It's just got 2 Walbro 450s on it, which will be plenty for what we're doing. Even with nitrous down the road, we should be good. So hopefully the fuel cell gets here this week and we'll put that in too and we'll be ready to rip. Otherwise, it's just a matter of waiting until that engine gets here. Leroy's getting work done. Dale truck's coming along, so we have a lot to finish. We're having fun. We're gonna be ready for LS Fest. We only have a week and a half really until we have to leave, so it's crunch time around here. But for now, thanks for watching Do It For Dale. We will see you guys later.